Side Roads brought to you by Lookout Winery Woods Oven Pizza.
Welcome to Side Roads. We're sitting outside the beautiful Gordon Lee Mansion. I got John Culpepper, a local historian, to talk all about this wonderful building built back in the 1840s and the stories that this mansion can tell. Tell us a bit more about the Gordon Lee Mansion.
Well, we can tell the stories of three cultures on these grounds. African American, Native American, European American. Of course, we go back to our Native American, we think primarily the Cherokees. This was Cherokee country up until Cherokee removal, and the Cherokee had formed their government and had divided into districts, and this was the Chickamauga district, and the council house that served that district sat right down here on the front lawn of the Gordon Lee Mansion. Mr. Gordon ended up with this property here, which surrounds beautiful Crawfish Springs, which lies across the road. In 1840, he began the construction of this plantation house, and he developed a 500-acre working plantation, slave plantation. And we got one of the original slave quarters still left on the ground. They were 6 of them. And then they've got the facilities here that's been added to it for special function. You've got the smokehouse around back. They cured 365 hams a year, so they'd have 1 ham a day to eat.
Wow.
Okay. You've got a little period garden area back there, so there's a lot to see that's historic, and then you can see the modern facilities that we use for our special events. And so if you want to come here and study the Battle of Chickamauga, this is a main structure in that. Or if you want to step back in time to a kinder general time, you come to Chickamauga. We promote ourselves as the Gettysburg of the South in Mayberry. Because simply we still are that small town where neighbor knows neighbor. Community pride is important. And so if you want to visit nostalgia and you want to visit history, we'll come to Chickamauga, Georgia.
When you come in, we'll show you around if we're with you, or give you a self-guided tour. You can take as long as you want. We don't rush anyone. You can spend hours here. We're open from 11 to 3 on Saturdays for tours, so you can spend 11 to 3 if you want to in the house. The first room you probably see is on the left when you walk in the door. It's a parlor now, and that's actually where General Rosecrans, the Union commander, had his headquarters during the Civil War, the Battle of Chickamauga. He was in this room for a few days, and he had with him one of his aides was James Garfield, future president of the United States. So a lot of history right in this room. So we'll talk about that. We also have, of course, it's furnished now, and the whole house is furnished in 18th, 19th century Victorian. Nothing is really part of the house history, but everything is pretty similar to what you would have seen back then in a mansion of this size. We have the warming kitchen, which is completely, no electricity. It's the way it would have been back in that day, in the 1840s, 1860s, and it's got all of the implements and the tools and things of the trade that they would have had back in a warming kitchen.
Why take a tour here?
Well, because of the history, I think, is the main reason. When you come in here, when you walk in the door, you know this is history. This is something that you probably will never see anywhere again. And probably what happened here will never happen again, we hope. And when you come in, you're going to have that history, that feeling of being back in time, seeing how folks lived back in those days, because no one really understands that now. You can read about it, but when you come in here, you actually see it.
All right, folks, beautiful location, Gordon Lee Mansion there in downtown Chickamauga, technically 217 Cove Road in Chickamauga, Georgia. Just look for the big water tower right out in front. 706-375-4728 is the phone number. The website is gordonleemansion.com. Remember, they also do weddings and parties, too.